Technologies and the Kabbalah Center.
Thank you very much. I will continue with the broader field of neo-Kabbalistic movement, and I will present both Boaz Hus, one of the hundreds of contemporary neo-Kabbalistic movements. And today I will present then the Kabbalah Center and its use of new media technologies. And this paper examines the transformation process of the International Kabbalah Center through the application of digital media technologies. And I will illuminate the ongoing transformation process of Kabbalistic ideas and practices in which centuries-old Kabbalistic elements are combined with components of psychological and therapeutic approaches as well as technological attributions and rhetoric. So through the dissemination of Kabbalah via internet and the Kabbalah Center's online marketing, Kabbalah becomes a faith brand that can be consumed for spiritual well-being and self-improvement. So the main thesis of the presentation today is that the media and its changes influence the content and practices of religion. And religious content and practices are represented in a simplified manner and become accessible more easily. At the same time, the popularization of religious resources by the use of new media leads to a reinterpretation of these resources in the context of the so-called therapy culture. That means that religious content is linked to psychological ideas and that religious rhetoric is replaced by a therapeutic and technological one. Through the dissemination of religious practices via the internet, the blending of different religious elements is promoted and existing religious rituals are remodeled. Through religious practices are dissolved of their original context and are transformed into techniques of self-improvement and healing. While most of them were originally used as a means to enforce a religious community or to connect with the divine, in their transformed form, the main purpose has changed as well. Now the usability and efficacy of improving each user's individual life stand in the center of these practices. So I will continue with a really short introduction in the field of new media and religion, especially Judaism. In her book, When Religion Meets New Media, Heidi Campbell defines new media as a modern digital network technologies like social media, websites, email, and in recent times, mobile apps. Furthermore, she describes new media as that generation, I quote her, of media which emerges on the contemporary landscape and offers new opportunities for social interaction, information sharing, and mediated communication. Recently, in the field of cultural and media studies, it is emphasized that the digital change has an impact on religion. In some studies, the influence of new possibilities to communicate enabled by the internet on the construction of religious identities and communities is analyzed. Other authors are more interested in the question how the constant availability and accessibility of religious offers affect religious practices. According to Heidi Campbell, the scientific investigation of digital Judaism until today is a field that still needs to be researched in depth. Scholarly engagement with the topic mostly focused on the study of ultra-orthodox sectors' response and the use of the internet, and also the connection of media, religion and digital culture aroused interest of scholars of social, cultural and media studies, also religious studies, in the last 2 decades. So Campbell argues that there is still a need for a more systematic study of Jewish engagement with new media. So some Jewish groups, for example, the well-known group Chabad Lubavitch, use technologies like video, radio, and TV to spread their teachings and to recruit new members. In the late 1980s, the so-called web pioneer Chabad Rabbi Yosef Yitzhak Kazin developed the Chabad Lubavitch website, as you can see here on the slide, Chabad.com. He digitized various religious documents and posted them on the web, created a Jewish web library and the so-called Ask the Rabbi feature. And he saw the internet as a way to get through the non-observant Jews who might be turned off by a rabbi in a black hat and a long beard. his website served as a model for many for other Jewish organizations that created their own educational websites. One of these organizations was the Kabbalah Center I will present. So I think this presentation will make a contribution to the examination of the field of digital Judaism, and I will show today how the dynamics and structures and religious content as well as practices of the Kabbalah Center have changed through the use of an extensive online marketing and the Kabbalah Center's websites. So now I will give you a really short introduction in the history of the Kabbalah Center, and we heard something about it today. And again, the Kabbalah Center was founded in the 1960s by Philip Berg, and it in the USA, originally understood itself as a Jewish Orthodox community, the Central. As such, in the beginning, it consisted of a small group of Jewish men who together studied Kabbalistic writings. Berg's first intention was to bring secular Jews by means of Kabbalah back to their religion, back to their Judaism. And by the 1990s, a major change in the orientation of the Kabbalah Center took place. From now on, the Kabbalah Center addresses not only a Jewish audience, but a non-Jewish as well. And in this phase, many locations of the center are opened. And the latest center, for example, that was opened is the one in Moscow in Russia. In this time, the center starts to market Kabbalistic ideas in terms of self-help literature and guidebooks. And Kabbalah therefore becomes a technology for the soul. Personal fulfillment, self-improvement and healing become pivotal to the Kabbalah Center's offer, which is advertised especially on its website. So today, a manifold offering of classes and lectures can be booked online, and the Kabbalah Center's teachers are available online as well. With Skype, for example. And furthermore, the student support can be contacted by those interested in Kabbalah for the discussion of personal topics, crises, or questions from a Kabbalistic perspective. They call it create a personal study plan on the website. And what I think this is not only an example for the Kabbalah Center's use of new media, but it points out the therapeutic inclination of the center, which are part of its religious practices and teachings as well. So now I will demonstrate the transformation of Kabbalistic ideas and practices through the use of new media technologies with the help of some examples. So the first example I will present you is the Kabbalah University. It has been said before that the mediation of Kabbalistic ideas has changed in the way that they are offered in form of online courses and workshops held by course instructors who are really highly professionalized and have excellent rhetoric and presentation skills. Furthermore, the content of the courses and workshops often have therapeutic and psychological references or treat questions of daily life that are put into a Kabbalistic context. This stands in a sharp contrast to the early phase of the Kabbalah Center, during which the intensive study of Kabbalistic writings was most important. Many of these online courses have to be booked over the partly chargeable website named Kabbalah University. Logged into the website of the Kabbalah University, which is linked to the website of the Kabbalah Center, different courses can be booked that span the whole area of religious as well as everyday life. Besides courses about the Jewish holidays, Kabbalistic topics, the specific prayers and meditation techniques of the Kabbalah Center, online seminars will about well-being, relationships, success, and health are offered more and more, as you can see here on the slide. So these seminars are marked by the mixing of Kabbalistic elements with therapeutic references, by which they are fitting in the idea of self-improvement that has become central in the teachings of the Kabbalah Center. So the class offered the most is called Power of Kabbalah. The subtitle, Create the Life You Want, points out the therapeutic inclination of the class, declares self-fulfillment as an achievable goal, and Kabbalah as the method to achieve that goal. So in recent times, it is even possible to take part online in different live events of the center that take place at different locations on the occasion of the Jewish holidays. As you can see here on the slide, this is an example for the next Pesach event of the Kabbalah Center in New York, and this is an advertisement for the live stream one can book. So these examples show that the passive and distant watching of religious events started to replace the active participation in them. So the religious actor became a religious voyeur, and Kabbalah becomes the religious online experience of a digital spirituality. So the next example I will show you is the Zohar class, or the Zohar Online. The so-called Zohar class is an important part of the permanent course program of the Kabbalah Center. The Zohar, a considerable Kabbalistic writing of the 13th century, is in the basis of the Kabbalah Center's teachings and practices, and as a spiritual tool for everyone, it is described by the Kabbalah Centers as a text that not only expresses spiritual energy it embodies it. On the website zohar.com, the whole text of the Zohar is made accessible, it's very important, with the help of special instructions about the handling of the Zohar. Those interested are encouraged to use a meditation practice called scanning on it. This means one only visualizes the Aramaic words of the text and by that absorbs their energy. According to the website, one can scan the Zohar for a particular blessing one wishes to draw for his own life or the life of his loved ones. The blessings can be used for healing, health, miracles, protection, to find its soulmate, and many, many more. By this, the study of the Zohar becomes a strongly simplified technique. The religious aspect has taken a back seat, and the digital experience with promises and easily and quickly achievable effect is brought to the foreground. So the next example I will give you is a very new development of the Kabbalah Center. It's a phase I call Kabbalah Goes Mobile, an even faster and more simple way to get access to Kabbalistic practices, and thereby an immediate effect is promised by the most recent developments, the Kabbalah apps, that are offered under the categories lifestyle and education in the Apple App Store since 2011. Via mobile phone, the Kabbalistic techniques can be used around the clock, offered as lifestyle products, part of recreational activities, whether in the train or on the way to work, during lunch break, or just in between. The Kabbalistic tools are always available. Equipped with the instruction manuals, the user gets to know in a few sentences how to use these techniques as the most powerful spiritual tool. So one example I will present you is the Zohar app. It's really very, very new. Through the Zohar app, different parts of the Zohar that concern important aspects of everyday life and self-improvement. So as you can see here on the slide, like health and healing, overcoming challenges, personal transformation, prosperity, protection, and relationship are made available on the mobile phone. These passages of the Zohar can be accessed and scanned according to individual needs. Furthermore, the original Aramaic text can be listened to, and the English translation, as you can see here on the slide, can be read. While in the last years the Kabbalah Center concentrated on the dissemination of the Zohar through sales of the Center's Zohar publications with the use of new media, the dissemination enters a new dimension, I think. So the last example I want to give you is the 72 Names of God app. One of the most promoted practices of the Kabbalah Center is the meditation on the 72 Names of God. During this meditation, different names of God are scanned. One name always contains 3 Hebrew letters. The tradition of the 72 Names of God is an ancient practice that has been used by Kabbalists since the medieval age, and Yehuda Berg, the son of Philip Berg, designates this meditation practice as Hebrew technology and attributes special energetic effects to each single name, which addresses different daily life situations and problems. So the app is really simple. In this app you can choose between the different names of God for scanning. On the slide you can see the 5th name of God. It contains of the 3 Hebrew letters Mem, He, and Shin, and the blessing that is linked to it is healing. So the Kabbalah Center promised their participants a fast and efficient correction of their daily lives and of themselves by using the self-improvement technology regularly. This Kabbalistic meditation neither demands a specific place nor mindset, but promises to solve many different problems and sorrows of human life with just one touch. So, these examples illustrate that with the use of new media technologies, the dissemination of Kabbalistic ideas and practices enters a new dimension, and the borders between religion and lifestyle, just as between religious and therapeutic discourses are blurred. Religious content is minimized and the usability becomes central. Religious topics are therapeutically, psychologically framed and vice versa. Religious teachings and practices are focused on the self and self-improvement, while the religious and the cultural, the Jewish aspects have taken a backseat. At the same time, the religious rhetoric is replaced by technical and psychological vocabulary. Furthermore, the collective celebration and praying on the Shabbat as well as on the Jewish holidays that was an important part of the century's religious practice is superseded more and more by the online and mobile practice of elusive use, just as the face-to-face contact is superseded by transient online contacts. Due to the comparatively short period of time that the internet and the mobile apps are used by religious organizations, some open questions still remain. With this presentation, I tried to give at least some answers and make a contribution to the research about digital Judaism and the use of new media technologies by religious organizations. But of course, much work has to be done, and maybe no last answers will be found in a field of research that is, I think, in a constant flow. Thank you for your attention.